Let's take a look at the interface in Premiere Pro that you'll be working with. Along the top of the screen, there is a line of different workspaces. Each workspace corresponds to part of the workflow. So when you're putting together your assets and importing them, you might want to be in the assembly workspace. Most of the time, you're going to spend in the editing workspace. When you're working on color grading, you may want to be in the color workspace. When you're working on adding effects to your videos, choose the effects workspace. And for audio adjustments and editing, you may want to use the audio workspace. Sometimes you may actually have clicked on one of these workspaces by accident and you don't recognize the screen's layout. In that case, make sure that you can come back to the editing workspace and the screen will be reorganized to the default editing setup. In the editing workspace, you will see four main areas of the screen. The bottom left is where the project files are housed. And in this case, I have a project that I'm working on. And this is where I can see all of the files that I have imported that I'm using in this project. There is a media browser, which gives me quick access to the drives that I have where I keep my files. And another important part down here is the effects panel, which has a number of effects for video and audio that you'll be using. Left is the source monitor, and this is where you will do things like preview your clips. So if we double click on an image down here, you can preview it, how it looks like up there. You can set in point and out points to trim the clip before you place it on the timeline. And very importantly, the effect controls is where you can change properties, settings on various functions or effects that have been applied to the clips on your timeline. If we move over to the right side, we have the program monitor. And the program monitor shows us what the playhead is situated at. So in this case, you see this blue bar up here with a blue bar that comes down, blue line. That is the playhead, and I can grab the playhead and scrub back and forth. And as you can see, the program monitor will change and show you what you're looking at. You can play back video from the program monitor, and there are some controls here to skip forward and go back and so on, set markers and various things like that. Moving down to the bottom right is the timeline. This is where you assemble your video, and this is where you're going to spend a lot of time editing and cutting and trimming your video clips. The timeline consists of several layers. There are video layers and audio layers. Starting at video 1, moving all the way up, you can add as many layers as you need. And audio, starting at audio 1 and going down, and you can add as many audio layers as you want. You also have over here in this area the layer controls. For the video layers, the controls to note is the toggle track output that's marked by a little eyeball right there. Clicking on that will turn on and off the layer so you can hide it and turn it back on. This can be useful while you're editing. On the audio controls, you have M, which means mute track. So that's the same function as the toggle track output. That will mute that track. You have solo track, and this one, the little microphone icon here, is the voiceover record. If you push that button, you can record directly into Premiere on the track that is selected. The timeline can be zoomed in and out. If you look at the bottom here, there is a scroll bar. If I click and drag the end of the scroll bar out, I will be able to zoom out so I can see my entire project, like so. And going the other way, I will be zooming in on where the playhead is sitting. I can move the playhead back. If we move all the way over to the right, bottom right, we have the levels indicator, and this will show us the output on the sound. My name is Jan Holmevik, and in this video this is very useful to be able to control that you don't have any peaking and distortion in your audio. Moving back toward the left side, over here toward the center, is where you have the Premiere Pro tools. There is a selection tool, task select forward tool, ripple edit tool, razor tool, slip tool, pen tool, hand tool, and text tool. And you use these tools for various tasks when working with the timeline. And that is a quick overview of the Premiere Pro interface.